this is Jesus and Gymshoes. Boy, this is Jesus and Gymshoes.
Welcome to another episode of Jesus and Gymshoes, where we have unparalleled conversations about life skills in Jesus. I have someone who is, she got a whole testimony. Like, she a warrior, she a survivor, she all the things. She a mama. And she a businesswoman too, you know?
I'm a Leo.
She like long walks on the beach, guys, you know. She like to work out. She like to shop. You know, all the things, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely
shop.
Leo's
thing, you know.
She said, I don't take no long walks. I'll take a long walk around Neiman's.
Yes.
But
yes.
Understood. Well, Catherine, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, okay. My name is Catherine. On IG, I am Miss Catherine, but I am now a 2-time breast cancer survivor. I am all the things that DJ just said, including like I'm for real. I'm a Leo for real. But yes, I am a breast cancer. Well, I would say I consider myself a 2-time survivor, even though I just went through this major process this year. So kind of, and I'm gonna say I'm in the clear, but I'm kind of not in the clear as far as scan wise yet. But I would say I'm 2-time breast cancer survivor. So you know, and I am a mom, and I do a whole bunch of stuff. I just do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm all over the place. I don't know if you want me going more in my like.
No, not yet. I got you.
Okay.
What's your favorite pair of gym shoes?
Oh, dang. I would say the one that I had the most pairs of course, Jordan 1s all day. Jordan 1s are like my favorite, even though they've been like, I had to pull teeth to get a cover on, doing a whole bunch of raffles.
Yeah, I mean, everybody.
Yeah. And I would say next to that would be the Yeezys, but
which number?
Yeezy 350s and 700s. I just got those. What do you call it? The orange and the bright blues. I got those. That was the last pair I got. But the 350s, they so comfortable. They are so comfortable.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
But I don't have a pair yet.
You don't have none?
I had a pair of 380s, but they were my travel shoe for like a year. And I don't know what happened to them. Like, I literally don't know what happened to them. I had a cleaning company come, and now I can't find that shoe and some headphones, but I don't know. It probably did. And I also like gave some stuff away, but I know I didn't like put it in a box or anything.
Yeah.
I had those in a box, so I don't know. I actually don't know what happened to them 380s. So Lord knows, I have too many shoes that I can't. I just can't find it.
You have to have that one where you're on the wall with all the people, you know, that have the plastic containers that show all their shoes. You need to probably get that.
Probably. It's not as bad as it used to be. It's most definitely not as bad as it used to be. It used to be just insane. Now it's tamed down a lot. Like, I have stuff that I wear on a regular basis now.
I pass.
Well, you said what?
I said I pass on a lot of shoes sometimes too. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to deal with the hassle of it no more. Like, it's like you're competing against the bots, and like it's just like, what the heck, you know? And then you got people like just I don't know. Like, I'm telling you, like, literally the ones that I really want to have to put in a raffle for each place that I could think of on Instagram, like, for real. Like, wouldn't be like, it's 9 o'clock, bam, 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 bam. You know, like sneakers app, forget it. Foot Locker, forget it. You gotta go to the other stores because they're not gonna do you nothing. I won one time on sneakers app. That's it. Well, twice.
Really, once? Okay.
Yeah, I would say twice because the other shoes I was getting from my sister, but I don't wear the other Jordans besides Jordan 1. So yeah, the Jordan 1s are the hardest by far to get.
Yeah, I think they made them popular again. You know, shout out to Nike and their great marketing. And
Nike is Nike has my whole entire like shoe collection, pretty much,
Really?
including like running shoes, Vapor Maxes, those Nike. They got like Zoom something. They feel like you
Uh-huh.
running on air. I'm like, but they are. You know, Nike got the game on lock when it comes to shoes, pretty much.
Yeah, it's special. Yeah, it's really special, like the stuff that they have. I think, and
Yeah.
so they do a lot of stuff for like breast cancer, tying it back in. They do a lot of stuff for breast cancer. They do a
They
lot of
do.
like merchandise and all of that stuff. What was that process like, or what is the process like? Because all we hear is this person like got out of remission. But what's that like initial process like of hearing the news?
So I guess if you want me to go into like telling the whole story
You
of how
can.
it happened. So I got the first time I got diagnosed in March of 2018. So at the time, 32, yeah, 32. So at that time, I just went to the doctor. I was like, something is going on right here. Like, I don't know. And I just told him immediately, I was like, I know it's something wrong. I need to get in to see the doctor ASAP. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
then it just looked like God was just working in my favor that day because the day I went um, in March, I went to Northwestern. So Northwestern is a huge place. So, sometimes some of their scans and all the things that you would have to get scanned and looked at is scheduled out almost 3 months. It just so happened somebody had canceled the day I had to get an ultrasound and
Mm-hmm.
like a mammogram and everything. So usually at that age, they don't recommend no mammograms, nothing like that. So my doctors had to fight and say like, hey, we feel like she has a lump and it might be cancerous for me to even get the mammogram. So the day that I went in, somebody had canceled. They was like, hey, you come downstairs right now to do it. And that's usually unheard of at Northwestern because Northwestern be like, nah, we got to schedule out 3-4 months or whatever. You got not going to get in there. Just so happens my doctor was like, hey, she needs to get in here ASAP. They had a cancellation. I had went downstairs, had to get ultrasounds. And when the ultrasound technician was looking at, she's at the head, of the department. And they was like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, we see it, definitely see a mass. So they was like, next Friday, you need to come in here and get a biopsy done. And I was like, biopsy. So I'm over here like, yo, I never, all these terms, I'm like, I have no clue. Cause I was like, mass. What she mean by a mass? What's that? you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I had a biopsy on Friday, that following Friday. And then the crazy thing is the doctor ended up calling me on a Saturday, and I'm like, usually they don't call on a Saturday. So he called on a Saturday. He was like, oh, are you sitting down? As soon as you hear, are you sitting down? You like, yo, what are you gonna tell me? Just tell me right
Yeah.
now. You know what? Wait, it wasn't a Friday. I mean, it was a Friday when I found out. It was a Thursday when I had went to get the biopsy. Take that back.
Okay.
Rewind.
Okay.
So Thursday I had the biopsy. The following day, Friday, because it was like Friday evening. It was late because I remember I was at work and I had just started this job that I'm currently at right now. So
Uh-huh.
so then it was around like 5, almost going on 6 o'clock. And he had called me the head of the department, the technician or whatever. He was like, oh, do you have some time sitting down? And I was like, yes. What you want to tell me? He was like, well, that biopsy did find that mass was cancer and it's very
Sheesh.
aggressive. So my reaction wasn't to even break down or nothing like that. I've never all my friends would say you have never broken down and actually cried, but I was like I couldn't cry because it was more like, okay, what's the next step? Get this
Mm-hmm.
out of me. So from there, like the process was just back to back to back. And April, I had my first chemotherapy appointment. So
Mm-hmm.
I went through 8 rounds of chemo and I went through 20 rounds of radiation that first time. So I
Is that
decided
normal?
everybody's plan is very specialized to them depending on what
Mm-hmm.
Because there's different forms of breast cancer. There's different types of breast cancer. My breast cancer was the invasive duct something. I can never think of the name, but it was in the
Mm-hmm.
duct of the breast tissue. That's how,
Okay.
like, if I can explain it like that, the big term is very,
Yeah,
um,
long.
but yeah, it's very long. But the grade of it, how people be like, oh, what was I? Stage one, stage two, stage, I was in stage what they call 2B to 3, meaning that it's big enough that it's spreading faster, but it's not directly, it's like going towards my lymph nodes to go, because once it gets to your lymph nodes, it goes spread around to the rest of your body, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But people like stage 4 is like you can live based off of the treatment, but when you get to stage 4, it's kind of like it's very hard, because it's
Yeah.
spreading to the rest of the part of your bodies. And it's hard to start like pulling parts of your body out to take out tumors like that. But there is like depending on the treatment plans, there are some people that survive during the stages. But mine was stage
Mm-hmm.
2B to 3, and meaning that my tumor was probably like the size about like this big, if I can,
Yeah.
it's like a big C. Um, and it was on the right side. So from there, what my plan was, based off I have a oncologist, of course, my gynecologist, my primary doctor, and then I have a doctor that's underneath my oncologist. So the oncologist is the doctor that plans the treatment plan for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then the breast surgeon is the one that's going to take out the tumor along with somebody else that works underneath her to make sure, 2 eyes. But like a PA. So that year was just crazy because it was just bam, 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 bam. I gotta get this done. So I had 8 rounds of chemo. Now, when I had chemo, so this is the thing. I forgot so I got a port. A port is easy. So a port is a little device that they put inside underneath your skin. So if you need to
Mm-hmm.
get blood drawn and there is connected to like your main artery in your neck and is
Yeah.
to get blood drawn and to go through your treatments, they decide that instead of going through your veins because it ruins your veins a lot, it
Yeah.
decreases like, everything and so they told me that, oh, it'd be best to get a port. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get a port. Now the crazy thing is, the first day I was going into surgery to get my port, which they say you can have your treatment the first day, and that you get your port. Now the thing is, I drunk some tea that I was supposed to drink, I guess, and so the day that I went in for surgery, they was like, "What tea did you drink? Did you drink just clear tea?" I was like, "Oh well, I had some hibiscus tea from Starbucks." It was like, "No, we can't do it," and everything.
You
So
was
that
wild.
right. So that first day, I didn't know that. She just said tea. She was like, clear tea. So I'm like, hey, well, whatever. So after that day, I still had to have my first chemo treatment. So I had that first one in my vein. Like, and that was really bad. Um, if you the first, I would say, so the treatment plan I was on was called an ACT treatment. So it's 4 parts. The first 4 parts are the adriamycin and cytoxin, which is drugs. That's the names of the drugs. And then the last 4 parts is Taxol. So adriamycin and cytoxin has to be done every 3 weeks. No, every
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, I was going there to get the treatment. Um, so the first day I had it in my vein, and if you can imagine adriamycin cytoxin, like if you can imagine sitting there for about an hour and a half, like when you about to sneeze right here, like it burns right,
Yeah.
it's doing
Mm-hmm.
that for an hour and 45 minutes straight with that medicine. It's bad, 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 bad. So yeah, so the next time, so after I had that
Oh.
first one, I was
Mm-hmm.
they send you home, and because you're going home, they send you with this drug that's like kind of attached to your abdomen, and it gives you little shocks. So it's giving you a shot
Mm-hmm.
of medicine, which is called Neulasta, which you probably see the commercials say, hey, Neulasta, when you're going home, because your immune system is going to drop. They give you that to help with that Neulasta. But that Neulasta drug, I'm telling you, the next day I felt like a train had hit me times 3,000 or something. I couldn't
Sheesh.
hardly move, couldn't do that. And then I was like, I don't want to do this no more. And then, you know, after that, within the week, they was trying to put in the port, which I had to get the port put in. So I was still feeling bad and everything else. Now the port helped, but the week after that, when I had the second treatment, I just had to bear with this part right here. Now, me
Yeah.
being the person I am, like I like to collaborate, so I had a lot of my family and friends volunteering, of course. They're like, hey, I had people coming out like all over the place, like, hey, I'll take you to your treatment or whatever. So each type of treatment I had, I planned for everybody to kind of be with me so I could plan this video. So I was
Uh-huh.
in there doing videos, and they was like like the nurses and stuff. They was like, I don't even know how she's even doing all this stuff and has the energy to do this and keep that energy up. But I'm like, that's just me. Now the thing is, I don't know if you remember, I had really long hair. My hair was down to
I
my butt.
remember. Yeah.
Yes, my hair was
I
down
was
to my
like, Shawty. No, I'm joking.
butt.
No, I
So,
remember. Yeah.
so my first treatment, at 2 weeks after that, my hair started falling out, like
Hmm.
completely falling out. And I think that's what I was like, okay, I know this is happening, but then I wasn't like really like it's happening. But until
Yeah.
I keep seeing all my hair was down to my butt. So I'm like, strands just keep falling out. Just keep falling out. And I was just like, I'm not
When
gonna
you saw that, when you saw that, like, was that what really made it hit home?
I think so because I was always used to having long hair. And I think I never knew how much it was like a part of me.
So the
And
surgery didn't do it. It was the
surgery didn't
like,
do it.
oh
I
my
was
god.
like, okay, forget the surgery. The hair part was the one where I was like, I think it's because you wake up and you just keep seeing strands fall and fall. And it just
Hmm.
reminds you that like you're going through something. Because when you go through surgery, that's it. The next day, you like, okay, I went through that one process. But to see your hair keep falling out during that like the whole week. And so just that week, I was like, forget it, scratch it. I'm gonna have my hairstyle as my whole hair off. We was trying to get it short, but then it just kept falling off of the roof. I was like, I'm just gonna go straight bald. And
Sheesh.
I actually,
So how long did that first process last?
which the process of
The first chemo process. Or the
oh,
first, yeah.
ooh. Okay, so the Adriamycin and Cytoxin has to be ran for like an hour and 45 minutes, and then they give you like Neulasta. They give you all
No,
these
no, no.
other.
I'm saying that the total
Oh,
amount of like time in
the
weeks or
span.
months. The span,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So, ooh, I want to say I started in April. It was the end of April. Um, and then it lasted until August. The reason why I say August is because so when I got Taxol, right? So after Adriamycin and Cytoxin, they give you almost like 3 weeks in between, right? To start the new treatment. Taxol, the first day I had Taxol, they tell you like, "Hey, we're gonna have to give you liquid, like the real version of Benadryl, not the one that's over
Hmm.
the counter. The real version of Benadryl in your port, and because it usually causes allergic reaction." Now they did that, but I had an even worse allergic reaction, so I broke out in hives after I had it. So Taxol is ran 3 hours. So after the 3 hours and everything else, the next day I broke out in hives. So then what happened was they was like, we still got to give you the type of treatment. They ended up switching me to another new form of chemo that was not, it was approved, but it was so expensive that it had to be double approved through my insurance. So
Okay.
I had to wait another 3 weeks after that. So another 3 weeks, I would say this is around, I want to say mid May. I was like, no, end of May almost. So the end of May, no, June. So it's around June. So I finally got approved for that, and that's when I had continued on with my treatments. And so Abraxane had to be done every 2 weeks. Um, no, every 3 weeks. So then the last treatment I had was in August, the end of August. I think it was like August 26th. So then
Okay.
what their process was to give you chemo first to shrink the tumor and to not have it grow even more. And then they
Okay.
took out the tumor. So then my schedule was surgery. So I had to wait a couple weeks.
And
Um,
that's after August?
that's after August. So August, like
Okay.
I want to say August 26th was my last chemo treatment in 2018. And
Okay.
then they have you wait for a little while. They have you wait another 3 weeks. Of course, you got to get everything approved, insurance and everything else. So, my surgeon didn't have the first available date until, uh, what was it? October, October of that year
Because
to.
we saw each other and said, because you did a job fair with me. I think that was like
Yeah,
September.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we did the job fair. Yeah.
yes. And then after that, I had surgery right after that.
Your hair
So I
was
had,
growing back then.
yeah, it was. It was kind of like, as soon as you stopped it, right? As soon as you stop that,
Yeah.
it goes back really fast.
hmm
But so I had surgery in October 2018. Now what happened is that the place that they outlined, because they take a needle and they go like it's some type of needle that they go all the way around in you to outline the part. Now what happened was even during that time period, my tumor came back and started growing even more. So the place that they outlined when I had the first surgery in October, they had to go back in because when they did scans right after I had surgery, they was like, "Oh no, we see another place." And I was like, "What you mean
Mm.
another place?" So then I had to go back in November for a second surgery of that same year to get that taken care of.
How did you? So what was? How did you mom during that time? Like, what
Ooh.
was happening? Yeah, how did you mom during that time?
I just I I think I for me like even with everything I do, I don't know how to sit down. So like I just kept going like everything daily, just kept doing it, because
hmm
as a single parent, like of course you don't have the other parent that's there trying to make sure the daily things are happening. But
Because
um
how does your daughter at this time?
well, my daughter, she's in 8th grade, and
Now, right?
she
Or
well, no,
then?
not then. Yeah, then.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Um, so now she's a senior in high school now, but
Yeah.
but yeah, she was more like she's my only child. So it's
hmm
like she was there helping me, I had a lot, and I would say even during this process, I always had a lot of support with my friends, my family, and just everybody, and I would say during that time she was going through a lot, so I was just being the mom that I am, just like regular, even though I had would feel bad, I would get up the next day, even though I was still feeling bad, I would just get up anyway and just do what I got to do,
Yeah.
um because I don't know how else to be, so so even
You think
like
that was like a? Were you? Did you think you were like? Where does that come from? Kind of
I think me
like,
being a Leo.
girl, girl, we believe in Jesus,
I
not
know.
these
That's
signs.
true.
I'm
That's true.
joking. I'm joking.
No, I think God has given me the strength to be an advocate for it, and I've
hmm
been. It's crazy. I just to let you know, like even that same year, I had so much help because my cousin's wife, but she married into the family, so I'm like, that's my cousin,
Yeah,
right?
that's your
So
cousin.
right, that's my cousin. So my cousin, she ended up becoming the executive director of Susan G. Komen Chicago that year.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so during that time frame, I had went to the gala as well, and I was just around there, you know, just there, and she was giving me all this information, and I just got a lot of information during the whole time. Um, so, like, I would say go back to 2018 in December, I started my radiation treatment. And radiation, of course, if I had to go to Northwestern, it was the day after Christmas of 2018. I had to go to Northwestern every day for only 15 minutes. So I'm like, who gonna pay that parking fee at
Parking. Yeah.
Northwestern? Because Northwestern is $12 uh,
Minimum.
right, a day. It's like
Yep.
so what happened was all the people at my job, including my boss, have volunteered each day to go down there with me to stay in my car for me to go in for 15 minutes.
That's
Yes.
favor.
And I was like, so it was amazing to do that. So I completed that in January of 2019. I rung the little bell, and I know you probably saw it on Instagram because I had put a video up there. And so then I had to start this in order for my cancer to not spread, they decided that I had to get these injections called Zoladex. Well, at the time it was called Lupron, but my insurance didn't cover Lupron because the shot is like 1,500 a shot. So minimum, yes. Along with,
My eyes are so big right now.
yes,
Jeez Louise.
cancer is not a cheap thing. So I had to get approved for that. So I started in January, no, February because I ended my radiation. So in February that year, I started these injections where they inject you in the abdomen. It's a little like
Mm-hmm.
big needle. All that stuff goes in your ab and your stomach. And 2019, been going through that whole thing. And then fast forward, we get to 2000 and so what it does, the injection is put my ovaries, shut down my ovaries and everything else. So now I'm like in menopause, I guess you should say. So I'm having the hot flashes. I'm like, it's hot up in here. And everything. So then at the time, last 2019 was just a big year in general because I just been very, you know, just advocating everything. I spoke at the Susan G. Komen gala about everything that
Mm-hmm.
year. I was just out just advocating for it because what I would say is even it's like 40% of African American women are more susceptible to get breast cancer, and they definitely die from it. Because of the disparities with the insurance and everything else. Like
Yeah, because they weren't even trying to check you at
right,
32,
they was
So
not
yeah.
they was not trying to do that. So even if you fast forward, the pandemic was a lot. I have a very, I would say, I tried to say it's not stressful, but it is stressful. I have a really stressful job. So I was doing a lot of stuff. So a lot of the SBA loans and all those things. So I work kind of in it, like I work for Illinois Small Business Development Center. So we work directly with the SBA. So all the paycheck protection plan, I feel like my name was on a billboard in 2020 because it was so much stuff going out for small business. But I feel like my name was just out there somewhere. Like Catherine's can help with the PPP and the SBA. And I'm like, no, I can't.
No.
It's an application. So it was a lot of that. And I would say, like, I spoke to so many people in 2020. So fast forward to November of 2020. Of course, I had to get my scans. Now I went back in August of 2020 to see my scans with nothing there. Came back in November, the day after Thanksgiving. I got my scans. Same look on the same look from the ultrasound technician. Everything like, we see something. I'm like, we just went through this already. I'm like, this is
Well,
crazy.
so like
So
what went through your mind at that point?
I was like, look, at this point, I'm gonna do an Angelina Jolie and be like, just take everything you can, and that's it. I don't care if I gotta look like a tomboy or something. I don't know. I just, I don't know.
Yeah.
So from there, of course, the same things happened. They wanted to confirm again, so I went to another biopsy all over again. And going through those biopsies are a lot. Either you laying on the table and they're trying to get they're numbing you up, and then they're taking this little gun thing, which you still feel in there, and checking the tissue out. Which is a lot of it's a process. So then um, so then earlier, so then the same team, same things. It's like, okay, Catherine, we're at this again. And this time, finally, I had spoke with a plastic surgeon because I'm doing immediate breast reconstruction at the same time. So
What is
um
that?
immediate breast reconstruction. So I went through what is called a DIEP flap surgery. So in January of this year, I went through a double mastectomy, which removal of all breast tissue, but at the same
Okay.
time, I did a DIEP flap surgery, which means that they take fat tissue right here to form, breast and stuff up there. So they kind of do a
Okay.
little
Yeah.
formation.
Hmm.
So because I do still have the option to get the breast implants, but I'm trying to put that on hold to see how my body, because foreign objects, I had a problem with the port because I took out my port right after I finished the last surgery. I took out the port, and I couldn't sleep with that thing because it's plastic in it. And I think because my body is just like, no, this is a
Yeah.
foreign object. I don't want to do it. So that's why I'm gonna pause with the implants already, because it's like,
To see.
but
Hmm.
yeah. But see, my doctor, everybody thinks I had it already because my doctor had did some kind of magic thing, my plastic surgeon. So I had the breast. So the breast surgeon is there to take out the tumor. Then the plastic surgeon there is to do the other work. So earlier this year, I went through a 12-hour surgery. So I was out for 12 hours, which is so scary because I'm like, yo, to be an anesthesiologist, I'm like, I just applaud them because how do you knock people out? And then I'm waking up like, what time is it? They like, it's midnight. I'm like, midnight? I was down there at 5 in the morning. So what do you mean? It's midnight? Like, it's just
Jeez
crazy.
Louise.
So I had a double mastectomy. I was at Northwestern for the whole week. And then I had to come home. So the surgery I had was immediate breast reconstruction. So the breast surgeon took out the tumor, and then the plastic surgeon took out all the other stuff. So the other
Okay.
side, even though it didn't have no tumors, I took out everything. So basically, all that's left is really skin. And if you're gonna do like, what my doctor did, what my plastic surgeon did was to do fat grafting, which means that you take.
Hmm.
I took. They had to do a tummy tuck to remove the nerves from that area for these nerves to come up here, so the skin and the cells won't become dead at all. So it's a long, you got to know exactly what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
and picking
So
people, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, that no, that's wild. So at what point, not to like jump ahead, well, to jump ahead, but like to understand, so that you got the surgery, and then like at what point do you find out again that you have cancer?
So I found out in November of 2020, the day after.
Okay, in November of 2020. Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
the
cool, cool,
day
cool.
after
Making sure.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. So the day after
Jeez
Thanksgiving, I
Louise.
remember because I was like asking my aunt Jordan, like, yo, you still got some potato salad over there? And I was like, I'm gonna come over there afterwards. So that's why I know it was the day after Thanksgiving that I went there to get a biopsy. So I was like, yo,
That's
I was
wild.
like, I'm Georgia. Let me get some potato
That's
salad on
wild.
Kansas City. But so and I was on break anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, November of 2020. But I think the crazy thing is that the thing I would take away is that stress does so much to your body. And I was so
That's what, yeah, I was thinking about that. Like,
I was
and that was the question. Like, do you think that that kind of exacerbated the
I want to
situation?
say so. There's the only reason why I say that is because you don't know what's in your body, and your body is going to kind of like deplete off of what you're doing and the stress that you're under,
Yeah.
And I feel like that probably did play a lot of the second time that I had it. But and at the same time, I feel like if you have that big of a tumor, you probably should just do it anyway. I was just like, nah, let's just take the lump out because I had a choice to do what I did in January a long time ago, but I didn't do
Hmm.
that, and I was like, okay, let's see. Because I didn't want to go do this part, which I'm going through it right now. And I was like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So when they explained it to me first time, I was like, nah. But I was like, everything happens for a reason because I feel like
Yeah.
I got the top breast reconstructive surgeon at Northwestern. When I saw my video, I
Yeah.
know the top two. So I was like, okay. But
How during that time, what was the thing that you learned about yourself?
oh, you just gotta be a strong person to get. I would say is cancer is definitely not for a weak minded. I mean, I don't want to say weak minded, but I would say if you're not able to handle what you got to go through to be here, to stay here on the earth, God willing, um, then I feel like you just have to have a strong mind, and
Hmm.
you have to just know that everything is going to be okay. Like
How did you do that?
I think for me, I feel like I just kind of went kind of like daily. It was just like, look, I'm gonna do this. I'm a fighter, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I feel like, I just told God, like, God, I know I'm supposed to be here for a reason. And I know you put me through this process. I'm not sure how I need to go about handling this, but I'm gonna do it whatever pathway you lead me to, that's where I'm going. So
Did,
yes.
did death ever cross your mind though?
Um, I don't think, that was just not in my head at all. I do have
Hmm.
stuff set up like that. I have plans, but I've always had that, because I'm a double, like I have 2 degrees in finance. So of course, like when you're trying to set up anything financial, like you want to make sure you have, a life insurance policy, everything else together, because
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I went through parts where my family members didn't have that, and burial expenses are so expensive, and I went through that with my grandmother because I was raised by my grandparents. So when my grandmother died, I had to do all the funeral and make sure all that. But she kind of had that stuff in place. But even looking at that stuff and the prices for everything is just crazy. And so because I have a daughter and she depends on me, I want to make sure I had
yeah.
everything in place, Um,
Hmm.
so I would say like it never crossed my mind, but then I was like, I'm okay if God is like, hey, now's your time, and you just gotta be
Yeah.
okay with saying like, hey, this is it. I'm here for a reason right now because I know people that um one of the young ladies that I got really cool through another friend, she had ended up passing a couple months ago. And that kind
Mm.
of shocked me because I was just at her party in July because her birthday's in July. And I was like, what the heck? We was just talking to each other and I don't know what happened, And I would have to say with even with this process is I was very big on the place that I went to. I would say people that going through things, you need to do your research about the hospital and see what their expertise is in and then what they specialize in because I feel like all hospitals have their kind of niche, right?
Hmm.
Like I feel like University of Chicago, they focus more on cardiology. That's what they're good at,
Yeah. And then
Um
Northwestern was good at
Northwestern is good at
yeah.
very specialized things and very, I feel like Northwestern is probably like one of the top when it comes down to cancer. I feel like
Yeah,
Rush,
my big brother was there. My big
yeah,
brother went to Northwestern when he had to get his like bone marrow transplants and stuff because
yeah,
of the carcinomas and stuff. But yeah, I totally agree. You got to like make sure that you doing your research even with everything that's
mhm.
going on. What was the one thing you wanted? What's the one thing you want like your daughter to remember about you?
Uh, I don't want to say like a workaholic, but if I'm doing something, I set my mind to it and I just do it. Um,
Hmm.
and I don't look back at all. Even I might have go through some mistakes. I just don't look at the mistakes. And I just look at it as a learning lesson and just keep going forward. And that's my whole thing is just going forward with anything, So I think I just want her to, you know, just kind of be strong and kind of like um just like I said, set your mind to something and just do it, and don't doubt
Hmm.
yourself, because there's been times when I've doubted myself several times with different things, but then I'll be like, what, forget it, screw it. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it.
You gonna
Um,
knock it out?
I'm just gonna knock it out. Like even with me, like going back to like having the cancer and then, my hair, like I was just like, forget it. I don't know how I'm gonna look, but I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna rock the ball look and see what
I
happens.
mean, uh you kind of fine, G. So, I mean, even when I saw you in September, I was like, yeah, she. I mean, I realized what's going on clearly, but like, yeah, you aren't like unattractive. So,
I mean, it's just like some things you like.
to God be the glory. I get it.
Thank you. Thank you. Like,
Some things that works for others. What scripture
but
held you over? Like, what was the scripture that you like
oh,
went to?
I would say my favorite one, and I would say Romans 8:28 is always been my favorite
Hmm.
one. All things
Yeah,
together for the
work
good.
together. Yeah,
And that's my favorite one. That's always been my favorite one.
that's
And
crazy.
by yeah, that's I just feel like that has always been in me. Even as a kid,
Hmm.
like it's always been in me to I've always been determined like that. And I just feel like everything's just gonna work it out. And it always has been like that. And God has just made a way. Like no matter what, like I always have had a way out of no way sometimes. You're like,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah, yeah.
I didn't know this. Okay. You're like, even if it was $23 check coming, I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was getting this. Okay.
I know I was getting this.
Right. Didn't know that,
That's
but
crazy. Yeah.
so but I would say this process has been a lot. Like I said, I had a double mastectomy this year. That was a long healing process. I didn't get back to work till May. No, not May. March. Yeah, March. But then I had to have revision surgery, so I just had a revision surgery in August. So, let me not forget. Even though I had Zoladex, which is the injections in the abdomen, they added another component. They added two other components. They added what is called Foslodex because they like, well, she got it back too quick for us. So now I'm taking double the medication. So Foslodex is two injections in my lower back that have to be done. Yeah, along with me taking medicine twice a day, which is called Verzenio. So I got to take that every single day. And then the injections I got to get every month, along with get my blood drawn and everything else to show, my any cells or anything else. And then get my scans done twice a year. So in August, I had to go back in because since they did such a major surgery, you can never tell how everything is formed. And if you got to go, the plastic surgeon got to go back in. So I went back in August and they did some revision surgeries. Now I still
Okay.
have a lot of swelling going on. So I have to go to a physical therapist at Northwestern to kind of
Okay.
work all that out. Because I'm learning how to now to still use my abdomen muscles because I used to do abs perfectly fine, but I can't do that as well as I did before because my stomach was all the way cut all the way open. Um,
Yeah. From
and
the tummy tuck, right?
yes, yes. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I don't know how people even with plastic surgery do that. But you're right. It was just like I don't know how it's done. But
Shout out
August,
to the IG models.
you're right, exactly. Um, the crazy thing is, I was off of work. My boss and my other coworker, we are all on text messages with each other. We're amazing friends. So that's why I say you
Yeah.
gotta have a good. So they was just like, don't worry about it, whatever. I didn't have to take a leave, none of that. They was just like, you good with us, which
That's
is
dope.
amazing. But
Yeah. Talk.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. That. Talk real quick about Angels Helping Hands, the
Oh, Angels
foundation
Helping
that you're
Hands.
part of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that my friend Angel has started this girls mentoring program. It's for it's for girls in the Chicagoland area and northwest suburbs. I would say northwest Indiana suburbs. Um, oh, I hear your dog. Okay.
Yeah. He out there.
Okay. So it's for girls. It's a girls mentoring program from ages 13 to 18. And what we do several like events, mainly on leadership skills. And um, I know we're gonna have a couple of things about careers, so they'll look into that. So it's mainly a mentoring program that does mainly education and leadership skills. We have various events. So every month we have like an educational event, and then every month we have
Mm-hmm.
like kind of like an entertainment event. And also
Mm-hmm.
we have where the girls would do challenges every month, and it's like Princess Mentee of the Month. And so based off
Okay.
of that, you might get a gift card, you might get your nails done. The girls love that. So
Yeah.
um we have our new nonprofit we just started, so we launched in May, so we're just trying to get everything together still, but everything has been going good. The girls love it, and I'm just an advocate of kind of paying it forward to the youth. So what the youth, we need more of that, and there's not enough of those programs, especially in the city of Chicago. I mean, you kind of getting a lot of stuff pop up right now, but there's nothing that like kind of like, hey, girls, you need to do this. Also, the girls get a mentor. We have mentors that have volunteered and they're mentoring these girls. They went through we went through a rigorous process of picking all the mentors, from an
Mm-hmm.
interview process to calling, and they each have a mentor and they follow up with these the mentees every week, so we know exactly what they're doing. But that holds like the mentees accountable for, if they're saying they're going to do something, then we hold them accountable for what they're going to do. And it's also teaching them leadership skills. And then like some young ladies that were kind of shy before, it's kind of bringing them out the shell even more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
So that's a
amazing,
little bit
man.
about that. Yes, 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 yes.
And
um
then Yeah, I'm happy. I got my chicken and Kool-Aid, it's on this side. My
I
chicken and
know.
Kool-Aid sweatshirt, the party that I throw for the Grayson Foundation. But yeah, I thought that was really special that even through doing the things that you're doing or going through what you're going through and being a
Yeah.
mom, you still, found time to make sure that, other people were taken care of.
Yes. I do so much during my day. My phone goes off so much. Because even more like I've been speaking a lot lately because you
What do
know
you do for self-care?
self-care, shopping, of course. No, I do the usual, like getting my hair done, getting, my nails, my eyebrows gotta be done. I don't do them lashes right now because some of them
Yeah.
a little crazy with the lashes, but I know a good girl that does lashes. But
Hmm.
I just don't do it yet unless I really got to, meet somewhere or be somewhere where I really need to dress up.
Hmm.
But I think I love shopping. It's bad. It's really, really bad. Like I'll buy stuff. I'm to the point where it's not one particular thing. You know, I think
Yeah.
it's more like if I see it, I'm like, ooh, I can find a way to use it. Like, like even I got everything that I can think. I'm very particular about the things that I buy. I just don't buy anything. I buy definitely
Okay.
quality items too. Like I have the Samsung TV that's brand new. With the 4K and all that other stuff.
Hmm.
Then having the sound bar, you got to have the sound bar with Dolby
Gotta
Atmos.
have the sound bar. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
with the Dolby Atmos. So
I'm
you got
just
to
I'm
have.
saving up for a Bang Olufsen sound bar.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah.
You know who
Yeah.
else
I'm
is good?
saving up.
Is Sonos. That mess is
They
good.
are.
I was
They
like,
are.
yo, what in the world?
Yeah. It's been my desire to have Bang Olufsen for forever. That's why I want to
Oh
get me
my
an
god.
Audi because they got Bang Olufsen in there, and I want
Yes.
the A7. That if
Ooh.
I just got to lose some weight so I can fit.
See, that's good. It's hard because I'm a car person too. I have car like I bought a car every 2 years. I don't keep cars past 2 years. It's bad, but
I
I just
wish.
like,
Yeah.
I might as well,
Yeah.
And that's why like the last car I had, I was like, okay, maybe I should just lease it. That's what I did. I was like, I might as well lease because I switched cars out too much. Like
That makes
I was
sense.
bored.
That makes sense.
Like I
I'm
really
grateful that yeah, I'm grateful that you get to live that life. I think that it's necessary for black people in particular to be able to enjoy themselves and
yeah.
do fly stuff if they want to, or
Right.
as long as you not hurt nobody to get it. I'm perfectly fine with I love I
Or go
love when I'm
to get
driving.
it go too, because there's the people out
Yeah.
there that you should have got $1,000 car note. Like you shouldn't have did it. But they do it
Yeah.
anyway. You know?
Yeah, if you can afford it, go ahead, G. I'm happy
Right.
for you. But I mean, I think it's dope when I'm outside and driving and I see somebody a black man pull up next to me and he in a Rolls Royce, or I
Oh
see
yeah.
somebody in a
Yeah.
Spider or a
Oh
Ferrari.
yeah.
I'm downtown in the Gold Coast. Some black man gets out of, some medium or regular size black man gets out of, some Aston Martin. I literally was
Yeah.
outside of I was at the Sprint store and this guy hopped out of an Aston Martin, just regular looking black guy, and I was
Mhm.
just like, man, I love this car. And I stopped. I was outside. I was like, I had
Yes.
never seen it before. I thought I was in a James Bond movie.
Yes.
So
I just
I like.
yes.
Go
I just
ahead.
think, even though now, like, with the pandemic, they've been getting people approved left and right because they like, look, 2020 when nobody coming to the car dealership, when nobody coming out to buy no cars because I mean we was shut in. So they
Yeah.
lost us so much of money on cars. So they like, look, you want the car, we gonna find a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I ask this final question. Because I appreciate your time.
Yeah, yeah.
Where can people find you?
Well, IG right there. I am Miss
Yeah.
Catherine. And really that's where I put a lot of my content. I'm not on Facebook. I did have Facebook until they start having all this spam coming on there. It's crazy. But I was like, no. I had to have like two Facebook accounts at one point because I had Facebook when it first came out, when you had to be a
Yeah.
part of a school. And after that, I was like, I think I got rid of my Facebook in 2016. Was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to deal. Like, but yeah, I am Miss Catherine on IG. And yeah, like, oh, I have one more thing. You
What?
know, put there. I had ended up when I was going through my healing process in August, went through the surgery and whatever. Then I called shingles. I have never even heard of that. Yes, on my left side, my left side of my rib cage. I was like, yo,
Were you in a locker room, G? Like,
no, I called shingles. It's crazy. They said if you had the chickenpox virus a long time ago, anything that stresses your body so much, it can come back out. I was like, I had chickenpox when I was like 6. So I'm like, what? I didn't know that. So now that was something that I went through as well. I was like, what?
yeah, like I've heard of like I don't know. I heard of like some athletes getting it just from like being in a locker room or whatever. That's crazy.
Yes.
That's why I
Yes.
said that.
I was like, God, okay. So you don't want me to go back to work, I guess. Okay. All right. That's fine. All I gotta do is let them know. But I thought older people got it. And I was like, yo, so I didn't even get back to work. That took almost 3 weeks to heal from because when I tell you the most painful thing I've ever had, like I was already dealing with the surgery part. Then
What
I
is
ended up doing
shingles?
that.
Like, well, I hold on. I'm going to the computer real quick
Okay.
because that's wild.
Shingles is yeah.
Oh, so it's like a rash. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
like
a rash.
it's like a rash and then it attacks your nervous system. And
That's crazy.
yeah, it attacks your nervous system. So when I tell you sharp shooting pains, it was the most painful thing ever. And I was like, I guess old people get this, but I don't know how they deal with it
There's literally a picture of an old white woman with a
either.
rash on her side, like on her rib cage.
Exactly. That's exactly what happened to me. I was like, and then it's like these big like blisters, and they end up getting like filled with like liquid, and then they burst. You have to let them burst. And I was
Yeah.
like, yo, so I had like patches on with a waist trainer and like holding that spot because I was like, yo, I don't want it to go because it was like it's contagious if somebody gets in touch with the liquid and all this stuff. I was like, okay, well,
Yeah, my daughter can't get in touch with this. I don't want to like, yeah.
right. So
That's
when
wild,
yeah,
man.
she was in her room, I was in my room, and I was like, Clorox and Lysol and everything. It was just crazy. And then, like I said, I didn't get back to work until September. My boss was like, yo, just chill, man. I
Yeah,
was
everybody ain't got that, man. Everybody ain't got that, and I'm grateful that
like,
I'm
what?
grateful to God that you had the ability to be able to, go through not once but twice and still, have a job and have people who rock with you.
Yes,
Because
yes,
that that's wild. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine at all.
man.
Um,
It's been a
the,
lot.
I'm I'm sure. Like I know that even hearing the story, like I mean, we only been on here for less than an hour, but I just know that like we couldn't. It's even more to the story than like what was told, and I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine like the feeling that you went through. Of having all of that done, because I would have loved to like been a fly on the wall that first morning
Yeah.
when your hair, like when you rolled over and your hair was right there. You was like, what the
Oh my God.
like
Hair,
the curse word that came
hair
out.
was like, I'm telling you, the hair was shoot. But you know how it was about my hair, and I was like, yo,
Yes.
like it was definitely experience that I was like, yo, I did not think that that was going to happen. I'm trying to find the picture right now. Here we go, right here. Bam, that was my hair all the way down to my back. I was like, yo, like,
It's
and it's just so different. But my hair, I've cut my hair like at least, I want to say 8 times now. So My hair probably would have been bad because my hair is like right to here right now, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
did do a bob, so I was like, let me try out everything I want to do now since I got my hair short. So I was just like, chop
Yeah.
it all off because I'm like, look, I've been bald already. So what's the worst can happen now? I'm like, look, I'll just rock it short and whatever, and that'll be it. So
Understood.
yeah. But
Well, this is
it's a lot.
totally
It's
understood. Well, this has been another episode of Jesus and Gymshoes, where we
a
have unparalleled conversations about life skills and Jesus. My homie Catherine, I want to thank you for coming through. Make sure you
most
follow her
definitely.
on IG.
Most definitely.
Um, she already had a tummy tuck, so just get her the IG model status. So
Yes, I'm actually in the process of creating a platform right now. Like it's really gonna be like basically my journey through everything. So I would say more like a website slash blog in a way.
uh-huh.
Um because it's gonna have a lot of content on there. I'm in the process of developing it right now where I'm gonna put out more information because I feel like just as African Americans in general, we don't go to the doctor enough. So if I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
digging about looking, at my body and being concerned about my body, then it could have been worse. So
Yeah.
like, and I would say like my uncle had liver cancer, but he waited till the last minute and spread it all over his body. And then I would say when he told us 3 weeks later, he was gone. So
Sheesh.
it's just it can attack your body so fast. And so what I want to provide out there, like I've been doing this whole year, like I've had a lot of, I've been speaking a lot about this.
Yeah.
And I just want, especially for African American women and like men can get it too, as they said, so I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah, they
Yeah.
said that it's still the tissue and that men can get it too. But I want to say, like, as African American, um, just African American people in general, we need to go to the doctor more. We need to be diligent. We have the insurance on it, work for these big name companies. They paying insurance. We need to use it. So,
Yeah, I really want people to start using a dental insurance. That's
yes.
another issue. But we go stop there.
I know
Again, this has been exactly.
you like
This is Jesus and Gym Shoes. Make
yes,
sure you follow us on Instagram at
yes.
this is underscore Jesus and Gym Shoes. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe
I was
as
gonna
soon as you can.
it is there.
Yeah, hold on.
Mm-mm.
Let
Can't
me
do
end
it.
this.